Hello, how's everybody doing today? This video here today is about a story. It was more of a reaction from a story that came out from CNN regarding Navy Federal Credit Union, basically stating that or putting out that Navy Federal Credit Union could probably be discriminated against African American, aka Black people, aka Moorish people, aka whatever the name they want to come with this week. So basically, CNN does a story about this gentleman here and how he was not approved for a loan when it appears that he may qualify. And that does happen. There are several things that go into approving a loan. The biggest thing is your credit score. Second thing is your income. And I would say the third thing is have you had loans before, your history of loans. Like if you had many loans and always paid them back, a bank will be more quickly to lend you the money. Also, how much debt you have as well. If you have a lot of debt, a bank or a credit union may be reluctant. And this is kind of a good thing because it goes back to 2008 when the 2008 crash happened and a lot of what's called subprime loans were given out to people that didn't even qualify for loans. There was a big thing about it, and it was called predatory loans, and it was a big thing about that. They were talked about how banks need to look more into before they give people loans and make sure they actually can afford it, which is a good thing because no one should have a subprime loan. Subprime loan sucks. Payday loans suck. Never get a payday loan. I don't care what you got to do, and do everything that you can not to be in that rate. I mean, it does happen. Life does happen, but make that like your last choice. Make it your dead last choice to have to do that type of loan. But in this case, they're talking about Navy Federal Credit Union. But in this case, you also have to look deeper. It is it's not just a racist thing. You look deeper, you can find out more things. And if you go to CNN, I would say watch this video, see what CNN says. Then also, I want you to go to my friend in one of the channels I watch all the time, Mr. JT, the Pocket Watcher with JT. Check him out. He gives a story how these guys here and this gentleman here were giving people ideas of how they can become Navy Federal Credit Union members without even being in the military, which is one big important thing about joining Navy Federal Credit Unions, that you have to be a military member, or if one of your parents was or a relative was, and then they can vouch for you and be able to own your account. And they're telling people different ways how you can do it and different things you could do with a Navy Federal Credit Union. And I think that's what led to a large number of denials and kind of widened the gap, because these guys were given bad information and some possibly illegal information on it. Whenever it's a suggestion, especially as the internet grows and YouTube grows and panels like this, whenever somebody checks something, check it out for yourself. Also, you can Google online and check if this is illegal or no, they don't do this. Or sometimes yourself, where basically they're telling, in this case, they're telling, just say that your grandfather was with Navy Federal Credit Union, and even though he wasn't, they're telling you to lie. It can lead into problems. Especially with banking, that can become federal. Anything you do with banking is federal, banking or credit union. So I would say check out JT. He kind of goes in depth on this. And also, there's another gentleman here. Oh, hang on. Let me bring him back up. He goes in depth on this as well. He does like a full breakdown of the whole case and everything like that. Let's see. Okay. Give me a second. Let's get back here to YouTube.
So EY University, and it's an extension of the podcast. It's pretty much like on steroids.
This is kind of how they're breaking it down, but it's not what I'm looking for.
Unless you're
it's called Now When. He recently did one on it. Yeah, he did one. Is Navy Federal Credit Union racist? One second. Yeah, he does a lot of things on just financing, trading, and stuff like that. So go check out his channel here where it says, is Navy Federal Credit Union racist? I always like to put out where I get my information from, my ideas. Some of it's personal, but I also just like checking stuff on YouTube as well, where people kind of go in depth about what something is, if you can do it or if you can't do it. Some people are pretty good, and I would say never buy a course from nobody online, but just take a look at it. And I would say the biggest thing that's hurting African Americans when it comes to getting loans and getting started is their credit and financial knowledge, which really is more of an American issue than a racial issue. But one thing that's real big that is hurting, I can at least say African American community or people that don't have a lot of money and grow up poor, is your credit score. You have a lot of young kids at an early age. Their parents use their social security numbers to take out credit cards and bills and stuff like that. If you go to Dave Ramsey, he took several calls where they talk about that. This one here, you see Chris on it, where my mom took out 6 credit cards in my name. And then you have one where Dave, parents have a credit card in my name. Is where the parents get the credit card, they run it up, they never pay the bill. And then when the kid comes of age, 18, they try to get their first car, they already got a 230 credit score. Thanks, Mom. I really appreciate it. Or the person is 18, their parents have them co-sign or take a credit card, and they promise to pay it back, and they never did. They figure like their kids owe them, and they screw them, make life harder for them. If that has happened to you, I would say check to see how you can get that fixed. If you did not sign for it, I'm not saying get your parents to where they're in trouble with the law. Talk to an attorney if your credit score really that bad, and they can give you advice to where you can get something off your credit report without prosecution of your parents or a relative, because that's pretty bad. In a lot of cases now, they actually look for that now. You have to be a certain age, and they actually check birth dates and stuff like that. But once again, yeah, just whenever kind of goes back to the beginning of the story, when the story comes out, when somebody says something's racist or discriminatory or just anything with the news, just look deeper. Just look deeper into it. Thank you.